The Scottish Cup draw has just delivered an absolute blockbuster. Celtic have been handed an away trip to Ibrox in the quarter-finals, and it's going to be absolutely massive. Plus, we've got a crucial injury update on Kieran Tierney. The club's fixture nightmare is about to get even worse, and we'll break down those heroics from Saturday's dramatic win over Dundee. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. It's now guaranteed that there will be no Glasgow Derby Scottish Cup final this season, or even another Hampton Derby before then. Celtic and Rangers have been drawn together at the quarter-final stage, with Celtic handed an away trip to Ibrox. That single draw removes any chance of a Hampton meeting between the two this season and sets up a huge knockout tie with serious consequences for both sides. Neither team has had a smooth campaign. This is not just about progressing to a semi-final, it's about denying your biggest rival a route to silverware and salvaging momentum in a season that has been stop-start for both clubs. Celtic's derby record this season has been mixed. The Hoops beat Rangers at Hampton earlier in the campaign, drew at Ibrox, and then lost at Celtic Park. Interestingly, the only victory came under Martin O'Neill, with both Brendan Rodgers and Wilfried Nancy failing to record a win in the fixtures they oversaw. Now here's where it gets brutal. This sets up a punishing run of 4 consecutive away matches for Celtic: Stuttgart away, Rangers away, Aberdeen away, Rangers away again. That is a brutal sequence by any measure, combining European pressure, title implications, and a winner takes all Scottish Cup tie at Ibrox. Squad management, fitness, and mentality will all be tested to the limit. The Scottish Cup quarter-final is scheduled for the weekend of March 7th, although it's still unclear whether the match will be played on the Saturday or Sunday. That detail will be confirmed in due course. Now here's something interesting to keep an eye on. How many tickets will Celtic be allowed? The Scottish Cup rulebook allows visiting teams to claim up to 20% of the stadium capacity, which would be well beyond the agreement in place for league games, which is capped at just over 2,000. Could Celtic test the boundaries? The rule does state practical measures, and police input would also come into consideration, which could reduce a larger Celtic presence. There is no hiding place, no easier route, and no second chance. Win at Ibrox and a semi-final at Hampton awaits. Lose, and the cup is gone, along with a major opportunity to build belief and momentum. Now for the main story, as Tierney was forced off with a head knock during stoppage time against Dundee, sparking concern over how long he could be sidelined under concussion protocols. Those fears eased somewhat on Sunday evening when Tierney was spotted on the Royal Mile. He dropped by Pig's Wine Bar in Edinburgh just a day after the incident, looking relaxed and comfortable while out and about. Members of staff at the bar shared photos on Instagram, posing with Tierney outside the venue. Seeing Tierney out so soon after the knock will ease concerns, but it does not change the process Celtic must follow. Head injuries come with clear rules, and the club will not cut corners regardless of how the player feels. The first hurdle remains Livingston in midweek, which Tierney is expected to miss due to the required rest period. From there, everything depends on how he responds over the next few days. This is crucial timing for Celtic. With the fixture list getting absolutely brutal over the next few weeks, they need Tierney available. He's been solid since returning to the club, and losing him now would be a real blow. The good news is he's up and about, looking fine, but Celtic will follow protocol properly. No shortcuts with head injuries. In other news, after Falkirk were pushed all the way to extra time by Stenhousemuir at Ochilview, the draw for the next round was carried out live in the studio. Former striker Lee Miller was handed the task, and he delivered a blockbuster tie by pulling out Rangers to face Celtic at Ibrox. It is a daunting draw at any stage of the season, but the wider context makes it even more punishing. The cup tie drops Celtic into what is shaping up to be the most demanding run of fixtures they will face all year, both physically and mentally. Let me break down this nightmare schedule for you. It all starts on Sunday, February 15th, away to Kilmarnock at 2 p.m. That fixture is rarely straightforward. Rugby Park asks a lot physically, and it often takes days to recover from it. From there, Celtic moves straight into European knockout football. On Thursday, February 19th, Stuttgart come to Celtic Park for the first leg of the Europa League play-off at 8 p.m. Just 4 days later, on Sunday, February 22nd, Hibernian visit in the Premiership at 3 p.m. The second leg in Germany follows on Thursday, February 26th at 5:45 p.m. before Celtic go straight into an early kickoff at Ibrox on Sunday, March 1st. A 12 p.m. kickoff leaves minimal recovery time. Then there's the Scottish Cup quarter-final at Ibrox on either Saturday, March 7th or Sunday, March 8th. That's back-to-back away trips to Rangers' home ground. And after all of that, there's still the rescheduled Aberdeen match. The Pittodrie game will now take place on Wednesday, March 4th at 8 p.m, finishing off a nightmare run of away games. There is also context in the table. Rangers' 5-1 win over Kilmarnock means this Aberdeen fixture now stands as Celtic's game in hand. Win it, and they draw level on points, while cutting the gap to leaders' Hearts to 3. It is arguably the toughest run of games Celtic will face all season, and if the Hoops come through it on top, they will recover some of the damage caused during Wilfried Nancy's disastrous spell in charge. It would also show supporters that Martin O'Neill is getting the very most out of the team, as he has already shown during his 2 spells so far this season. In other news, the talk picked up after suggestions that Celtic tried to bring the winger back to Glasgow on deadline day, with claims Miller was ready to go before the move collapsed. Falkirk boss John McGlynn has now shut down those claims entirely. Speaking ahead of his side's Scottish Cup tie, McGlynn made it clear there was never any contact from Celtic about Miller returning to Parkhead. He said there was no contact from Celtic regarding Calvin Miller. The speculation was just that, speculation. Miller is focused on Falkirk and helping them in their cup run. It's another example of deadline day rumours getting out of hand. Miller has been doing well at Falkirk since leaving Celtic, and it seems the stories were nothing more than media noise. For Celtic, it shows they weren't desperately scrambling for every option on deadline day. They had their targets and stuck to them. Miller stays at Falkirk and both clubs move on. Lastly, Celtic needed a 97th minute equaliser from new signing Junior Adamu to force extra time against Dundee, who had led through Ethan Hamilton. It was a dramatic finish to normal time. Dundee had defended brilliantly and looked set to cause a massive upset at Celtic Park. Then, with literally seconds remaining, Sebastian Tunekti delivered a perfect cross and Adamu was there to head home. The relief around Celtic Park was palpable. This was exactly the kind of moment that could have derailed the entire season. Instead, Celtic regrouped in extra time and Tunekti popped up again with the winner to seal a 2-1 victory. Tunekti has been the star of this Scottish Cup run so far. He scored crucial goals in the 2-0 opening round victory over stubborn Auchinleck Talbot at Rugby Park and followed up with the extra time winner against Dundee. The Tunisian international winger also set up new boy Junior Adamu for that dramatic equaliser just 3 seconds from the end of stoppage time. Adamu's impact was immediate. Making his debut, he delivered when it mattered most. That's exactly what Celtic needed from their January signings, players who can step up in big moments. The win keeps Celtic's hopes of silverware alive in the Scottish Cup, but as we now know from the draw, the road ahead is brutal. That quarter-final at Ibrox will be one of the biggest matches of the season. For now, Celtic can take confidence from the character shown against Dundee. They didn't panic when things looked desperate. They kept pushing and they got their reward. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.